everybody. I hope you all can hear me. If you can't, let me know. Well, hello, even though I know no one's in here yet, but um, I want to thank you all for getting me to 300 subscribers. I never thought I'd reach this far. Honestly, I didn't even think I'd get past zero at one point. Um, you guys have been really amazing with supporting me and encouraging me. I'm hoping that one day that this channel will be able to reach across the world and hopefully inspire people around the world if it hasn't already. Oh yeah, and I made this little sign for you. Hopefully you can see. Hold on. Oh, I made this. It says thank you, and I'm sorry if it's inverse. It says thank you so much. I made this. I appreciate all that you guys do, and I mean honestly, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a lot of you guys. I want to start off with saying thank you to all the veterans, as I know it's Veterans Day. Thank you to all the veterans that have served and the ones that are still, like, the military and the people that are still serving. Um, I want to start off with, also, I want to say that I don't know if all of you know, I do have my own disabilities, which is what inspired me to do this channel, because I know not everyone gets the same kind of support that I had. I had parents who advocated for me before I even knew what advocating was, so I'm able to advocate for myself now. And I know not everyone has that, unfortunately. So I wanted to do when the concept of this channel came into play, I wanted to be able to help inspire people who were in this disability community that weren't getting that kind of support. Even though I'm not everyone's voice, um, I want to be able to be their voice if they need me to be, uh, if that makes any sense. But I want people who don't feel like they have a voice to know that they can use their voice, even if it's not with words. You could, like, maybe even write out what you need to say if you can't actually speak, or sign it, or different avenues of advocating. Like, even with this little girl I work with at my job, there are multiple kids I work with, but this one little girl, I started telling her, you can speak for yourself, because Miss Burley's not going to always be there. And my last name is Burley, by the way, if you didn't know that. Because I tell her, like, you're allowed to tell if a child's doing something you don't want them to do to you. You can tell them no or stop, or you know, because I want her to know that she's allowed to speak up for herself. I know not everyone feels like they are able to speak up for themselves, but and which I feel terrible about. Oh yeah, a little bit about me. I am autistic, dyslexic, and have ADHD, which I didn't know that was possible to have all three. I just thought, well, honestly, as a child, I didn't really know much about the different disabilities, because as a kid growing up in the 90s, I didn't know much about them because it was never really spoken about in school, at least. At least the school I went to, it was never spoken about. You knew there were kids that had disabilities, but they were kind of, at least particularly in the school I went to, in an elementary school, they were like hidden, like they were in their own little individualized class. And you didn't, only reason I saw them and other kids that saw them was because I read under grade level, so I was pulled out, and we went to their class sometimes. So that's how I got my first experience with working with kids that had disabilities. Which is very interesting. That started at 8 years old. Back then, I didn't know that was such thing as like nonverbal autistic. I didn't know that. I mean, I knew that the little girl had a disability. I didn't know what it was. I now know what she had. She was nonverbal and she was autistic. There's a lot of things that I didn't know back then that I know now, and I know that's I know that it's always good to be your biggest supporter, because sometimes you may not have anyone else in your corner, but you have you. If that makes any sense. Um, the reason I honestly did this live stream, or started this live stream, even though this terrifies me because I don't like being the center of attention, is because I want everyone to know that I'm thankful for all the support, the views, and regardless of the comments. The comments are also honestly what encourage me to keep making videos, because I get discouraged like everyone else, but I take it very personally, because um, helping the disabled community in general, which I'm also part of, is my passion. So when I don't feel like I'm making any kind of impact, it actually devastates me. Um, and I know for some people that's probably like why, but it's one of my special interests. So it's almost like I know I can't live without it. It's one thing I can't live without. There are other special interests I have, but this is one of the ones this is one of the many few that I can't live without. I would say the same thing when it goes to art. I'm very if there was no art in the world, I would not be happy. Because that's always been something I really loved. I love drawing. That's the thing I do like, and I do like. I don't know if you've seen any of the art I've done. But that makes me happy. Even if it's people don't like it, I like it. Even if they don't like my art, I like them. And I know some of the stuff I've done has inspired other people, which is amazing. But that wasn't the point. That wasn't not really the point of drawing. It just makes me calm. It actually soothes me. Same with classical music, which is kind of interesting because I didn't know this back when I was a child. I know now. Very soothing to me. And I know for some people, it probably can be a whole lot, but honestly, probably am to some people. Um, but I'm not gonna let that stop me from being me. I mean, back when I was a kid, or at least particularly a teenager, because I was bullied, I probably take things a lot more seriously than others, like particularly mental health issues, because I've struggled with them for 17, almost 18 years. Suicide attempts and depression and anxiety, all of those. Plus, on top of being burnt out, is not very good. But luckily, I have a therapist that I got a little over 2 years ago. Well, because I knew I needed help. And there's nothing wrong with needing help, which is I think that's important to say. So, like through that, I honestly through my therapist, I found out that I was autistic and like ADHD, and also I already knew I was dyslexic. I just didn't know that dyslexia was a reading like disability. Always thought it was a writing one because no one ever told me. And the reason I found out it was a reading one is because I researched it and found this out. And I didn't honestly throughout of all the stuff I've learned, I didn't know there was like breakdowns of different dyslexic things. I think there's like six different ones. Um Same with ADHD, there are different types. I did not know that either. Based on what we've seen in the public, at least presented in the public, I just assumed ADHD was where you can't sit still, move around. Because I don't do that, I didn't assume that I had ADHD. I mean, but then I'm thinking maybe because the ADHD, the autism, and the dyslexia are all together. So maybe because I have all three of those in one, maybe one is more prevalent than others. But I do notice when I'm extremely tired, particularly with being dyslexic, I notice certain things that I'm really, really good at. I struggle with a little bit more, like particularly because I'm really good at numbers, math, and I'm really good with numbers, plus pretty good with spelling. But when I'm extremely tired, I will introvert numbers. Like I will change the order of the numbers, not on purpose. It's just because I'm exhausted, and then it will make my number come out wrong. Like um, one cool trick I can do, but it's probably weird to most people. I can do this thing where I can add up the month, the day, and the year, and I can get a number, and I can figure out what age you are at that time. It's so weird. I've done my birthday before, so my birthday is January 17th, 1992, and if I add all that up, it's 2010, and I was 18 in that year. People say that's not common for people to do. I just assumed it was a thing people could just do randomly. Um, but I guess it's not. I don't know. Sorry if I'm being weird. I honestly I don't like being center of attention, so this makes me be the center of attention, but there's nothing wrong with it. But because all attention's on me, I probably am a little bit more awkward than normal. Because I'm already awkward in general. But you probably are seeing my anxiety plus my awkwardness, and it's probably being brought out a little bit more. Um, yeah. What else do I want to say? Oh yes. Um, the video that I'm coming out with, well, actually, I'm filming tomorrow. What is called MS is, and I got a few responses for that video. And it's a response video. It will be out on my channel on November 18th at 6 p.m. EST. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out because I have to figure out if it's the acronym is EDT or EST. It's yeah, I'd be doing that. Sorry. Um, and then I have other videos that are coming out. I'm excited about the ones that are coming out uh in mid December to mid January because it's going to be about my experiences about being autistic, dyslexic, and an ADHDer from my experience. Those are going to be different videos. And I'm curious to see who can relate, and maybe some people may, if they don't have this particular disability, may look into it. Oh, hi, Soren. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. But I think it's really awesome to, I don't know, I just think it's awesome to inspire people because I didn't think I had a voice. Like, honestly, when I first started this channel, when someone told me I was the voice, they felt like I was being the voice for their daughter. It actually I like got really happy because I didn't think I could be someone else's voice. Because I've always been very awkward, and I honestly, when I was a child, I didn't really talk much to people outside my family. So doing this is probably a huge step for most people to see, like, because I'm speaking to people that I don't even know are watching me, so it's like a lot. I didn't speak to much people outside my family. I mean, outside my family as a teenager or a child. I just assumed, honestly, I assumed a lot of things were Mariah things because I never had a vantage point um, to peg it off of. Like, for example, I've not known any, I don't think, actually, no, I don't know any autistic people in my real life. Like, I don't know adults that are autistic. I know children, I don't count, though. I've never had really an adult, like, encounter with a person that's autistic. I've always been felt like I'm awkward and like an alien, and like most people can't really relate to me. I mean, my family, I love them, but they can't relate to me because they're not me. They don't go through the same encounters I do. They don't hear things that most people, like, for example, they don't be hearing like the AC unit go off. They don't be smelling like extreme strong smells like the gas and all that stuff. Like, I don't really have anyone to relate to in that field. I mean, I now know because of the online community that there's autistic, people around, but I still don't have that personal experience with being around people that are autistic, dyslexic, and have ADHD. I don't have that because I just don't, and I never have really had it. So most things I always base them on. I would say all of them, they're Mariah things, and my therapist was like, oh, they're not really Mariah things. They're just like things that people that are autistic, have ADHD, and are dyslexic. Well, I didn't know this. I mean, because no one really told me. Because honestly, as a child, I only knew that I was dyslexic, plus I had a cognitive disability, which can be any bloody thing if you say cognitive disability, because ADHD is under that. Autism is under that. Like dyslexia, all those different things are under it. So all we knew, I mean, now I know that I'm this because I've like listened to other people, and I'm like, oh, okay, they go through it, so I feel a little bit better. I'm not just being like, I don't know, I'm not really, I can kind of understand how other people are. So, yeah. So I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like I kind of found my community when I came online for like Twitter and stuff, like because I never really had that before. It is not that I wouldn't say it's a bad thing. I guess it'd be kind of, I wish I found it earlier when I was a child or like, a teenager. Maybe I would kind of, you know, have been more sure of myself as a person. Because I feel like as a child and teenager, I didn't really understand what was happening. I mean, like everything was happening, but I don't think, I always just kind of didn't feel sure of myself. But I don't know if that was because of the bullying or because, actually, no, it probably was partially from the bullying because when I was being myself, I was being bullied. So it was kind of like, made me feel like, oh, it's not really okay to be Mariah because every time I was myself, there was a bully coming, like, because I'm not really like, if you know me in person, I'm very very awkward, so um I don't really know how to explain it. I'm not like most people. Like my siblings, I'm not like them. It's not a bad thing, but I talk. Oh, I actually I talk a lot more than I did the last few years. I talk really fast when I'm really nervous. My parents, my mom will like, Mariah, if you don't stop talking so fast, I can't understand what you're saying because it goes so fast through her ears. I guess she's like, Mariah, if you keep talking this way, I have to tune you out because I can't hear you, like what you're saying. I didn't know that was an ADHD thing. I just assumed it's because my anxiety is so high I can't control because my thoughts will go so fast in my mind that I have to speak it so fast. It's like my brain won't adjust to what I need to say because I'm terrified if I don't say it, then I'm gonna lose everything I have to say. Which I just assumed that was a Mariah thing, by the way. Oh, I'm sorry you never had any. Sorry, Soren, I just saw this. I'm sorry you haven't had any adult autistic connections either. But I just think that it's important, even if it's just online. I mean, if it's online too, that we can have this kind of interaction because honestly, um, the autistic community and the disability community in general online has been really great. Some of it not as good, but I've had a lot more support than I thought I would. In the last over 4 years being on YouTube and being on Twitter, because like honestly, I would have never guessed that online, like I would have had as much support that I've had, like, and then people telling me they can relate. Because that was just how I felt, because I often felt like I was there. I mean, I've often felt invisible even though I'm there, and that's always how it felt. But I just assumed that was, like I said, a Mariah thing that Mariah goes through. And I'm not trying to be, I know that sounds kind of selfish, but that's how I always view things. If someone hasn't gone through it, because often a lot of things I've gone through, most people don't. Like, I overshare. I didn't know I literally just thought that was a Mariah thing because I literally always do it. So, I would do that and like I wouldn't know when to stop. And the only reason I would stop is because I would see people's faces, which means I probably shouldn't have said what I said. And it's not because I'm trying to make someone uncomfortable. It's just I don't have a filter where most people have that filter. I don't have that. Like my sisters and my, oh, hello. I don't know who you are, Inky, but hi. Um, but like I was saying, I just think that I wanted this channel to be a safe place for people that have disabilities come and be able to when I'm asking something or when I'm showing information, them to be able to get some, like if they need a diagnosis, like not that I'm going to diagnose, but that information could possibly help them get a diagnosis. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh yes, if they possibly needed a diagnosis, like for the information I present could possibly get them to a diagnosis, which is possible. And also, I want to say this statement: self-diagnosis is valid. Like because before I even knew I was autistic, that before I knew I was autistic, I already had thought I was autistic because of some of the paperwork that my mom gave me based on um based on some testing I had to do for college back in 2011, which sounds so long ago, which was, well, technically it was a long time ago. I was 19 back then, but I am 31 now, but not that that's the point. Point I'm making is I think if I was tested by someone that was an autistic, well, was looking for autistic traits, they probably would have caught it right away because I was tested by someone that just knew ADHD, and back then I didn't really present ADHD as much, my ADHD traits. I think they probably would have caught it because like a lot of the stuff that I was reading definitely tailored more towards the autistic traits. I've noticed that my ADHD traits came out a lot more when I'm when I'm exhausted. Not that they don't come out in general, but they literally come out more when I'm exhausted because I don't know if it's my brain's way of I don't know if it's my brain's way of like saying, Raya, you need to take a break or something. But I just want everyone to know, like, regardless of your disability, you are enough. Because I sometimes, one thing I didn't know as a child, I mean, actually, no, I knew it as a child. I didn't know when I was being bullied by people that I was enough. I already had self esteem issues, but then that made it worse because I already felt, at least as a child, I felt, that I knew I was different, which made me feel worse because I'm like, everyone else is like fine. Well, not everyone, but most people in my, at least in my vantage point that I could see back then, I was like, everyone else can like just do normal things. I have to do extra work. I have to do extra to get just bare minimum, well, which is always my whole life, my whole experience in school. um, I had to do a whole lot of stuff. Like, in my opinion, I would say compared to my two sisters, and I'm the oldest, I had to work really, really, really hard, which is good but bad because it made me miss out on things. Like I feel like I couldn't really take breaks and stuff. But it was good because it made me have a work. I've always had a really good work ethic because of that. It made me which is what my sister tells me. She said, Mariah, you have a really good work ethic because, well, she doesn't say it because of my disability, but she knows I have disability. She don't ever deny that. Um, but one thing I will say that I think all parents should tell their children, it's not about the grade. It's about, did you try your best with everything you've done? That's literally my parents have raised me that way. My parents told me, Mariah, wasn't it's not about the grade. It's about, did you try your best? If like a C is your best, and that's what matters. Like, and I think some of these parents, and let's be honest, parents and guardians. Let's be real, because not everyone's raised by their parents. So I'll say parents and guardians that tell their children, oh, you got to get A's and B's. What if they can't do that? So you're basically telling them they already failed before they even tried, which I think is not a good concept for anybody. Is there anything you guys wanted to ask? So I take a break. And I don't know if everyone saw this. I made this. It says thank you so much. Um, oh yes. Another thing I wanted to say, I don't know if anyone else in the disability community have this happens to them, but I know when I'm really really anxious, or actually no, very very overwhelmed, I will speak out what is overwhelming me, which I shouldn't do at work, but I do it particularly because this one little girl we have is very violent, and I don't even know how to explain what she is. She's a real lot. It's not that I love every child I work with, but she's a real handful. And supposedly, I'm not supposed to say what I feel when I'm upset. Basically, what my coworker said. That's what she says. I'm not supposed to speak out what I feel, but I'm not. I can't do that. I'm sorry. It's not how I work. Everyone in my job, well, my coworkers who work directly with me know I have disabilities, so they can't act like they don't know. And so when I'm really overwhelmed, I will speak out what I need. Like if I'm frustrated, I'll say the little girl's name and I'll say, You're doing a you're doing a whole lot. She is really, you don't understand. If you saw what I had to deal with every day, like I would show you what the little girl did to me, but I don't want you guys to get upset and be upset because it makes my whole parents, it makes my when I showed my parents what she did to my arm and my leg, but my leg is not as bad right now. Um, they were upset. They were like, Mariah, you need to quit this job. And I told them the only reason, even regardless if I get hurt, the only reason I do this job is because I know she's not, the reason she's probably acting that way is because she's not getting what she needs at home. Literally, I think that's why she's being violent. Um, like, in my opinion, if I describe myself, I would say I'm an enigma because I'm a lot. I have, all my disabilities are basically invisible besides my, when I have my tight heel cord and it's stiff and numb and stuff, you'll visibly see that. That's another thing I makes me feel uncomfortable sometimes because I in high school one time I was walking weird because my ankles sometimes when they're really numb and really sore down there, um they will make me like my walk will not be like a normal walk. It'll be like a gait or like it will be like a little kind of limping kind of walk. So it makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable because I think about that experience when I sometimes walk weird. And unfortunately, with the ankles being the way they are, well, at least my ankles being particularly the right ankle being as bad as it is, it affects my balance. So, which I think some of you may know. Um, I always, my whole entire life, I've had to walk down the stairs with my hand on the rail so I won't fall forward. Because if I did that, if I did not hold the rail, I would fall down the stairs. Which I know probably, I mean, I don't know if it'd be considered a physical disability because I never had paperwork for that, but I don't know about that. Um, Let me think. Uh, oh yes, some topics that are coming up besides the MS is that's going to be on the November the 18th. Another one is MS is not. And that's another response video. And then after that, and that's December the 2nd. December the 16th is going to be the video what it's like to be autistic, and I'm going to share my experience. December the 30th is what is it like to be dyslexic, and I'm going to share my experience. And no, not December, January 13th is going to be on the topic of what it's like to be an ADHDer from my experience. And January 27th is going to be jobs for people with disabilities, and that was suggested to me, so that's a response video. I already got some answers for that one. And then on February 10th, I'm going to do this video on 30 incredibly inspiring quotes for the people with disabilities. Um, let's see. I'm just grateful to all of you. I just hope you know. Like I just really like how kind you are. I mean, honestly, I didn't know a lot of people. I don't know a lot of people in the disability community that are always kind. Like a lot of the people on Twitter are very kind, and I'm not used to that. So, I don't really. It's weird to say thanks a lot, but I say it because people even at my job say, "Mariah, you don't have to say thanks." Well, that's my first name if you didn't know. You don't have to say thanks, but I do because I want people to know I appreciate what they're doing. Like if I'm dealing with a student that's in crisis and then someone came and helped me, I'm like, thank you. But then they're like, you don't have to thank me. We're a team. And I'm like, well, I have to thank you so you know I'm like that I care. Like I don't know. I know this life stream is probably not what you expect, but I'm really not a person that just well, at least typically I'm not one to like I said, I'm not one to be a center of attention. I know there are people that want to be a center of attention. That's not me. I've never been like that. I've literally like always being. I've always probably why I like think I'm invisible because often because I'm not very loud. Particularly, my personality is not. Yes, but naturally I'm very quiet. People sometimes forget I'm there because I'm so quiet. Like particularly when I'm not comfortable, I'm very quiet. Like if I'm comfortable with you, I'll speak. If I'm not, I would just like not speak at all. Like it's a whole thing. Um, like I'm thinking as a child and a teenager, I probably used not now that I know this was a thing. I probably was more selective mutism a lot more in high school and a child, even college maybe too because I didn't feel comfortable and I didn't realize that was a thing. I just assumed I was just quiet because everyone always said I'm very quiet and reserved, even though and also they also say awkward, but let's be honest, I always knew it was awkward. I often feel like an alien here, even though I'm not an actual alien, I feel like it. I don't really feel like I fit the human race, if that makes sense. But I'm pretty sure a lot of autists probably would say the same thing. Um, and I know people probably like, why do you embrace being autistic and ADHD and um, dyslexic. That's because, well, I do it now is because I used to feel like it was like bad to be different. I mean, I now know isn't, but I always felt like something is wrong for being different because based on society, it made it seem like you can't be different. Like you're not allowed to. I'm not allowed to be Mariah. Like you're not allowed to be yourself. Like I think that's like messed up. I think everyone should be able to be themselves. Like at work, like recently I've been feeling like my coworker wants me to be like her and my other two coworkers, and I told and I the reason I'm not saying anything to her because I know myself and I know when I go into certain modes, particularly because I have really extreme emotions. When I get angry, I can't control what I say. I literally can't control what I say. I literally can't because I also don't have a filter. So my mom said, why don't I speak to her? And I said, I can't do that because if I do that, I'm going to say something and get myself in trouble and probably get fired, which won't be my fault because I would just be sticking up for myself because I feel like she's treating me differently because I have disability. She know everyone in that whole room deals with that child. This literally one child who be doing a whole lot and is very violent and can be go off at a switch. And supposedly I can't do tone right, which I already know I have issues with tone. That's one thing me and my therapist are going to start working on. Because I don't have the normal inflections or whatever that other people have. I don't have a lot of things that normal people have. Like I can't read social cues. I don't know what my face is doing. Like she says to keep your face neutral. I don't know how to do that. Okay, like I really don't think she understands that I'm not like my coworkers. They don't have disabilities. Maybe may have some, but I don't know. But at least they're not vocal about them if they do. I literally told her from 2 years ago when we first started working together, I have disabilities. I don't act the way that everyone else acts. It's just the truth. I'm not gonna lie to her because I like have letting people know that I'm working with have the full information. So if there's some issue, um, there's any kind of issue, then you can't be like, oh, Mariah didn't tell me this. Like I'm trying to like deal with the behavior she's giving me. She's getting like saying it's my fault the little girl's acting away. No, it's not my fault. The problem is she shouldn't be in this school system with all the stuff she's doing. We cannot help her. Like mom's not giving us all the information. I'm trying my best with what I have, and based on what I have, I can't help her because the only options for her with her diagnosis is either medication or therapy, and I'm not either one of those things, so I can't do anything. And everyone feels frustrated, and honestly, I told my parents and I told my parents and told my coworkers, I said, if this little girl's still here, I'm not coming back because that means I have to work with her for 5 more years, and I'm not trying to deal with that violent behavior for 5 more years. Because she's already bit me, and luckily I haven't got really hurt because I've been kicked in my head by her. She bit me. I don't understand what we're supposed to do with this child, and I'm trying to be. And the reason I keep going back in this environment because it's not just there's other kids I like working with. It's not just her, and when she's calm, she's fine, but when she's in behavior, it's out of control. It's like I don't even know how to help this child. It makes me upset, and that's why I'm always stressed every day. Like I literally constantly think about this child, and I know it's a problem. And I don't know if I am obsessing over her. I'm not trying to, but because I can't help her, it makes me feel like, am I even doing my job? It's literally what I feel like. Am I doing my job? Like, I mean, anyone in that classroom don't feel equipped to help her. None of us can. She literally disrupts the whole. Sometimes we have to clear the whole classroom, take all the kids, other 5 kids out of there because she can't handle whatever. So we have to let her calm down. It's like a whole thing. And I know I'm venting right now, but like I've been dealing with this for like the whole like about 2 months, and my safety has been at risk this whole time. She bit me and made like this permanent mark on my arm, which I wish it wasn't there. There was probably a permanent mark on my leg that's there too. Plus, it's not even just biting. She has metal in her mouth because of her teeth and crap. And so now there's a permanent injury, and I think I have blood clots in that part, which is a problem because my mom and dad are like, Mariah, you need to get out of this. I need you to get out of this environment. It's not good for your safety. And I literally told them the only reason I do this is because I want these kids to get the best, and that's the only reason. But I can't keep dealing with it because she's affecting my mental health. I had really, if you didn't know, I have really bad anxiety issues, really, really bad, like crippling anxiety. Um, My therapist wants me to take medication, but I can't. I told her I can't do it because of this other medication I used to take, and it made me hallucinate. So I can't. I don't trust medication anymore. Um, it was my the medication that made me like hallucinate was my for my acid reflux I have. So yeah, I just like out of the whole like I swear she I feel like she is the kid is only 5 that's giving us all this behavior, and I don't know how to help her, and I wish that I am gonna. Yeah, I know it. You're right. It is tricky to get help, like from protect myself and my health. Which is why I said if she's still here, if I find out she's coming back next school year, I can't be because my mental health. I already have mental health issues on top of my disabilities. I've decided. Even my therapist thinks it's a great idea, and plus my parents. I told her if this little girl's here, I have to protect myself first. I used to let myself come second to these children, but I'm not doing that anymore because I only have one. There's only one Mariah, at least one Mariah Burley, at least, and I don't. I mean, I only get one life, so I have to protect. If my sanity is gone, I can't. I can't be effective for anybody. Like I can't. And to me, if I can't be effective for anybody, then I shouldn't be there. Particularly if my mental state is not okay because I already have, like I said, I already have mental issues that can be triggered at a drop of a hat. I mean, luckily she hasn't made me go into like some kind of psychosis or anything, um, which I'm grateful for. And I'm not joking about any mental health issues. I'm just saying because my mental health issues, I know how bad they can be. Like, I'm being very careful with that thing. But we are trying to get her placed in somewhere else because of the yeah. Oh, thanks for what you said. Well, I'm honestly she's just only reason she's so exhausting is because she has a lot of energy that I don't have. But I don't know if it's a 5-year-old thing. She has like extreme energy. I've like never seen it. It's like insane. Um, I mean, helping. She's literally the thing is she's supposed to be not in this program because we're not supposed to have anyone in the third grade, but she's still here. So I don't understand. We're supposed to not, at least particularly the program I work for, it's called Achieve in the classroom. We're not supposed to have anyone under third grade, but she's a kindergartner, and I don't really know why she was placed in this classroom. Um, so it's like a whole lot. Even my best friend is concerned. Like I told her about this, she said, "Mariah, when she said and she's also a nurse. My best friend is a nurse, so she was like, when I was telling her some of the stuff, she was like, yeah, you can't really help her. She either has to be on medication or therapy." And to me, my best friend said that, and she probably knows because little girl has some kind of mental health disorder on top of her disability, and there's literally nothing I can do. Like nobody in that school can help her. Like the psychologist, the counselor, all that, they can't help her. And I don't know. I just feel like I'm losing the battle, and I don't want to lose the battle, even though I did all I could do. But I don't know how to help her. I really wish there was something I could do. Um, because when she's calm, she's okay. But when she's not, it's like literally like in my opinion, it's like you see two different people. Like when I say it's more like she's like it's like Mr. Jekyll and Mr. You know those Mr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You know those characters from that movie or whatever the thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like two different split different personalities. I've never encountered a child like this, and I've worked with different kids. I mean, of course, I know not everyone's alike, but that's with any person with disability or any, yeah, any person that has a disability. They're never all alike. You have different views of it. That's true. You're right. You're right. That's true. Thanks for saying that. I don't know. I just take it personally. For me, I know what you said. You're right about everything you said. But for me, I think because I feel like if I gave up on this child, which I don't want to do, I would feel like I let a piece of myself down because I every kid I work with, I see myself in them. So it's if I'm not saying I she is me, but I view her as if someone didn't help me or didn't support me, what would I be would I have done? Like, and that's the reason I think, because I don't feel like she's getting everything at home. So when she comes into the school, I feel like a little bit kind of sad a little bit because I'm like, this child, I know she don't, some of the behavior she does is not because she's trying to do it, but she don't know how to, it's almost like she doesn't really know how to regulate that spot that tells her, oh, I need to calm down. Like, now it's not that serious. Like, for example, I'll give you an example. Um, One day we told her because she likes going on walks, but she likes going to the gym, and we can't take her to the gym because there's classes in there. So she'll ask me, she'll look at my badge. Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. She'll look on my badge and she'll find the walk little thing. Here, she'll show me this. She'll say walk to me, and I said no because I'll tell her no because I know she wants to go to the gym, and we can't be going in the gym. And I mean, I know she loves the gym, but we cannot go in there because it's not built in her schedule, which I feel terrible about because even the gym teacher was like, "Can we bring her to can she come here every day?" And the teacher was like, "No," which I really wish I could have been a teacher so I could have said yes because I know she likes this. Like, if there's certain things kids like, why not like incorporate it into their schedule? But that's just a thought. Um, I don't know. But also maybe I don't know, maybe I just take things too personally sometimes, I wonder. I don't know. Does anyone else feel like they take things too personally at times? Or view themselves in or person that they're trying to help? Um, Well, like I think it's cool that you can relate to this experience. I just like what the problem is also that this child has been causing the other kids in the classroom one scared of her, one is acting. He'll watch what she does to get because he notices it gets attention of the staff. So he'll act out in order to get my attention or someone else's. Typically, he wants my attention for some reason. I don't really know. I worked with him last year, and he might just have this bond with me, whatever. Like, for example, yeah, people say not to take things personally. That's what my coworker be telling me. She be telling me not to take personal when I get bit and other things. But I'm sorry, if the child is attacking me, how can I not take it personal? Like, being harmed. Like, we actually had to get I didn't tell you this, but we had to get face guards because the little girl. Well, when I teach one of the. This is not funny. It's disgusting. Of what it is. The little girl I'm telling you about. She'll pee and poop and stuff. It's disgusting. Lord, I'm sorry. It's disgusting. She'll force herself to pee and poop when she's in the behavior and a tantrum. So she flung it on. It's disgusting. I'm sorry. She flung it on the teacher, so we had to get like face guards to protect our faces. It is literally the most gross thing. Luckily, she's never done it to me, but then I'm thinking maybe because she makes me have to run after her all the time, maybe she spared me of letting that actually happen to me. Because she's an eloper too. Not that I don't mind her eloping because she's never actually eloped. I'm not saying I want her to, but I understand the environment might be an overstimulated environment and she wants to run. I always get her, but one time, my coworker was like, "Miss Burley, when she elopes for that long, you need to call administration." You think when I'm in that state, I see her about to leave, I'm gonna think, "Oh, I'm gonna call out for administration." Everyone else sees her come in the classroom. Why wouldn't they think to call administration? Why do I actually have to, because I'm literally dead when I'm in that when she's fleed or like left the classroom. I'm not in the zone of thinking, oh, let me call administration. I'm thinking, let me get her so she don't become a safety hazard to anybody else. That's the thought I have. So and the thing is, I'm the only one that always runs after the child. I'm curious to know if I wasn't there, who would run after that child, who would get her. Because it's a constant thing. She'll go towards the door. She knows she's not supposed to cross that door. She knows. Because I'll tell her to shut the door, she shuts it. But then sometimes she's like, okay, let me just open and flee. And I honestly, she's a whole 5 years old and she's doing all this. I'm terrified to see what she'd be like when she's like 10. Like, and the eloping is not that big a deal. The peeing and pooping and crap, the peeing and pooping and throwing things, that's a huge deal. Because she's almost hurt people. She's almost hurt me, and she's actually no, she's hurt me before. She's almost hurt like the kids in the classroom, and to me, when that becomes an issue, I don't know what we're supposed to do because that's not my fault. I move the kids out of the way. I do what I can. She becomes like trying to destroy the room. We have to move everything out of her area so she can't get to it. So it's a whole thing. So basically, all the focus on her when they have five of the kids, which is a problem. And everyone in that school, even the principal, knows she should not be in this school. Like, what am I supposed to do if everyone in the whole basically people that even really barely work with her, they know that when they call for like the assistance to achieve, they know it's for that child because no one else. Literally, it's only her that needs the assistance. Um, is there any questions you guys have? I like reading people's responses. Oh, so you take on other people's problems as your own too? Oh, sorry, Zoran. I think I'm saying it right. Sorry if I'm saying it wrong. But remember, I also have pronunciation issues. Just I want to make that clear, just in case I say people's name wrong. And I'm not sure how to say the name above yours, Soren. It's a nice name though. Maybe I'm assuming maybe it's European, but uh I don't know. If just sometimes I feel like I'm at a loss, and like of course what I love is helping, but at the same time, sometimes I feel like, am I able to always help? I don't know. Present themselves recently, like the kid I had gotten out of biting is starting to bite again because he sees the behavior the little girl's doing. Like, I don't know how to help that. I mean, I appreciate that his parents are on board trying to help him and everything, but this I wish this little girl's mom would be on board with her trying to help her because I don't feel like she's helping. She recent One thing I will say actually it happened on when was it? It was sometime this week where the little girl was like, she asked me because I knew she was in behavior. She asked me, she just said help because she had a belt on and she couldn't get it. Oh, thank goodness I said your name right. Okay, good. But she was like help. She was trying to ask me to help her take her belt off. I'm not doing that. I told her no. Because the reason I knew she was in a behavior because when she's in a behavior, the first thing she'll pull out her pants and she couldn't get her pants off, so she took her shirt off. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. She does. That's one thing that she does. She does expose herself, unfortunately. So when she does that, we have to get her out of like sight of other kids. Um, because she'll take all her clothes off. I hate that part too. It's just a whole nightmare. Is what this is. Like when I knew she was gonna be an issue when I first met her before even school started. When she eloped, I knew it. I didn't know all the severities of it, but I knew. Oh, your name is um sorry if I said your name wrong, by the way. But her behaviors are so severe. It scares me because literally, I'm terrified of a 5-year-old. I know it's a problem. I know I shouldn't say that, but it's the truth. I'm literally scared of a 5-year-old. I feel like she gives me PTSD a little bit, and I know she's a child, but because of her violence because she's like, I swear, it's almost like she's not. I'm not trying to say she's not human, but in that instance, she doesn't seem human when she's in those behaviors. Because it's almost like she don't see anybody there. I don't know how to explain that to you. Um, but she scares me, and she's 5, and it probably is a problem if I'm constantly thinking about this child, even when I'm not at work. Probably a problem. Probably means I need to leave soon. If give this, I told even my mom knows. My mom gets out of hearing about this little girl every day. Because I be telling her, I think about it even when I'm not at work. I do. It's constant. I mean, people ask me what do I do to relax. Try to listen to music. I listen to my shows. So I like true crime, and the reason I like true crime is because I like when justice is served, and I get so angry when it's not served. Probably I didn't know that was an autistic thing. I just assumed that was a Mariah thing. And my dad likes true crime because of that reason too. But I don't know. I'm very particular, but I have three groups I don't like when they're like anything happens to them. Is children is one of them, the disabled, and the elderly. Those three groups I don't like when people do anything to any of those. Probably why I can't. This is probably another reason why I can't feel like I can give up on the child. But also, I think it's probably personal too because I wasn't given up on. So I think because of that, I can't do that to a child. Oh, see, you're like me. I'm glad you can relate to like thinking a lot of things for you things, but then you find out they're autistic things. Because I thought that was literally, I thought that was just a me thing because I don't really, like I said, I don't know if you heard me earlier. I don't know if you were in the stream. But I was saying that I didn't have any autistic people around me when I was, well, at least I didn't grow up with any autistic people around me, at least that I knew of, that that I could relate to. So I just assumed a lot of things. I would say there were. I know people think this is weird. I literally say they're Mariah things. I'll even tell my therapist. I said I assumed a lot of things were Mariah things because I didn't have that like same like I could say oh same here or like same to other people. Like I feel like if people saw me like if you guys could like see me how I am, you probably like you'd pick it up immediately. You would have known without me saying that I was autistic. You probably would tell. I'm very not. One thing I will say, I'm not really in my own skin. I don't always feel like I fit in my own skin, even though it's weird, sounds probably weird. But I'm introverted, but I feel like once people get to know me, I'm a little bit more extroverted. But I don't know if that's because I'm trying to feel the person out. Because when you have a lot of bad experiences throughout your life, you're like, oh, I have to see how this person is, so I can see if I can be myself. I do that with people because sometimes, well, oftentimes, a lot of people make me feel like I can't be fully myself because they they're either not comfortable with it or it don't really fit the norm. Let's be honest. I don't really fit the norm. Let's be real. I'm pretty sure most autistics and other people in the disability community probably don't fit the norm. Uh, oh yeah, and I also smile more, which is interesting because I didn't used to smile in my this one guy. I'm glad he said it. He was like, Mariah, I used to smile, like, because often, like, at least as a child, like, throughout life, I'm not a very photogenic person, so when people, like, tell me I should smile, I don't do a really good, I can't smile right, it's weird. When someone tries to tell me to smile on command, I can't do it. Like, hence why some of my pictures look like garbage. But when I'm not told I have to do it, like, for example, if I take a picture of myself and I want to actually take a picture of myself, it'll be fine. I just, like, I don't know. Oh, so you said they were me things and then you inherited them from your grandfather and your cousin? Huh. Oh, cool. Well, I didn't know a lot of things. I I found out. Well, honestly, I think all my whole family's probably neurodivergent. I just don't know what all their stuff is. I don't think they even know, but uh, what was I gonna say? Um, Sorry, I was thinking. Oh yes, it runs in families. Like I didn't know people that were autistic could like. I didn't know it could be run down the line, the generational line. Same with probably. I'm pretty sure same thing with ADHD and being dyslexic. But for me, I think maybe some of my I think my disabilities might have came from being severely premature. Because I don't know if some of you know this. I was born when I was born at I think my mom said 6.5 months I believe. So I was severely premature, and I only weighed a pound and 10 ounces. And I know my parents were given I know my parents were given like well, told that I don't know if my mom remembered it. I think she said 50% chance of survival for me. I was in auction a lot, very long for some people that don't know my story. I Honestly, I probably shouldn't be alive, but I am. I mean, I'm grateful I am. I mean, let's be real. Like throughout my whole life, there are probably instances where I probably should have died. Like a couple of years ago, I probably should have died because of that's one suicide attempt I did. That actually did almost cost me my life. Actually, no, it was two in a row. Because I was triggered by something, so that caused suicide attempt. Not that I'm trying to make it negative. I'm just being honest. What am I trying to say? Oh yes. I was saying that like my disabilities probably did come from my being premature, but it also could run in my family line. So it's possible that I could have inherited some from my parents or my family, any of my generational family line, because it's a thing. Yeah, like I was telling one of my coworkers, she works with autistic kids. I said, I wish that when I was a kid, they had this program because I feel like I would have I might have I feel like I would have done maybe better in school. Yeah, so um, I don't know. I feel like I may have not struggled as much if I had always had structure throughout my school, which I throughout school, but I didn't realize that it was necessary for me until when I became an adult and started working. That when I didn't have structure or when things were changed, I would like literally throw a fit. It would be a whole thing. Like in the past, like when I worked with I worked in another different environment. It was a inclusion environment, and one of my coworkers like put something on my desk, and they changed something, and they didn't tell me they were changing it, which made me upset because for anyone that's autistic, most people already know this. They don't like change, and I hate change. I really do, especially unexpected change when I'm not aware it's coming. Like literally, I told my therapist, like when she be trying to change things on me, I'm like, yeah, no, I can't. Like because I have therapies on Thursday, twice a month, and I tell her, I said, I told her, I said, you if you cancel, I can't change it to another day. Like that's not gonna happen because I need, I have to have my routine. It has to be at this time, exactly what you said. Like, oh, oh, you don't like change either. That's a common. I think that's very common, which I didn't know. I mean, and I also can't stand being late. Oh yeah, and hello to everyone that's on this stream. I'm sorry if I didn't say it. Um, but what was I gonna say? Oh yes, I was saying that routine is important to me. Change. I need to people not to be changing things on me. I don't like that. There's a lot of things that I need. Being autistic, having ADHD, and being dyslexic. Like I don't like when people like I can't have too many directions put at me at a time because I can't. It's too much to absorb, and I get overwhelmed, and I start. I really like when I notice when my stims will happen is if I'm really really overwhelmed, I'll start stimming, and I don't because I think it's because I'm overwhelmed. My body's trying to regulate what's going on. I've noticed with like for example, just being dyslexic, it's like I always hate reading out loud first. I already hate reading in general, but because I'm dyslexic, it makes pronunciation hard, which I did not know that was a thing. But so I can't always detect the sound, like the changes of the letters and stuff, like how it sounds. Like most people can understand. Like my siblings and my mom and my dad probably can understand how to say certain words. I cannot like because my brain cannot detect how the letters should sound in the order. So hence why I be having issues with that. Um, I have issues with left and right. I mean, I now know how to do it because I use my hands as guides. Same with my shoes because I didn't used to know how to do those too. Just to admit, I always mix them up, and I can't tell when I'm putting shoes on other kids. Like with the kids, it's terrible. I say it out loud. I say I say sorry. You have someone that's dyslexic putting their shoes on. It's the truth. My coworkers are good. They'll be telling me if it's on the right or the wrong feet. They don't make me feel bad for because because in my past, this one guy, I think it was at Modell's my dad, and since I'm dyslexic, I put my shoes on the wrong feet, and this guy laughed at me. My dad didn't. I don't think my dad was aware that I don't remember if my dad if he realized that I did that, but I know that this person laughed at me. I didn't intentionally put it on the lumpy because why would I intentionally do that? Someone can laugh at me. But so I'll do that at times. I mean, my mom taught me a trick of how I can know which one's on the right feet. But I also have to memorize the order I take the shoes off in, so I know which foot it goes back on. I know that's how I do it for kids I work with. I try to memorize unless they've changed what the order they put it on. Like for example, if I take the left foot off shoe off, I have to put it in a certain place so I know where it is. Same with the right. I don't know if anyone else does it. That's what I do. Um. What else? Like ADHD, I interrupt a lot when people are talking. Probably people. I know my parents don't like when I do that. But I told my parents. I said to my mom, particularly my mom, because I talk to her more than I talk to my dad. I tell her the reason I interrupt sometimes is because you're talking a long time, and I'm like, if you don't stop, if you keep talking, I'm gonna forget what I need to say. So I just blurt it out, which is rude, but I can't help it though. Um, like I didn't. There's a lot of things I didn't know as a child that I know now. Like I think you guys didn't know as a child, but you know now because you found out that you are like you found out what your disabilities are. And sorry if you can hear anything outside. It's annoying because sometimes I be hearing like cutting the grass, which I can hear right now. So someone might be messing with their like trimmer outside. Um, oh, I understand that. Yeah, so not I don't know, like I didn't realize it's possible to have like I said, I didn't know that well, I knew it was possible to have more than one disability, but I didn't realize like I found out well, this is what I found through my therapist, that a lot of different disabilities like overlap, like ADHD, being autistic, like different disorders. I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. Like when I first thought when I first thought that it was I had borderline personality disorder, which I found out a lot of the traits that I was doing that I thought I was doing for borderline personality disorder were autistic traits. I did not know that because they can. It's very annoying how this probably I don't understand how these concepts were created. Like how do you find out like if you think it's one thing but it's actually the other? How did they figure that out? Do they what they test you for a while like because my therapist said she didn't tell me right away what she thought it was until, because she was trying to monitor, like, to see if the behaviors like stop or they can keep persisting. That's what she told me. Because when I did the intake for I was gonna take the testing for the official diagnosis of being autistic, but yeah, the reason I didn't do that is not the money. If it wasn't even the money, it was expensive. It would be expensive. But the problem was that the lady wanted my parents' staff to do all these things for like testing and stuff. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh yes, they would have to do different things, and I like doing. I'd rather just have be able to sit down and take the test and not be doing all these avenues. So it made me stressed, and I don't like if a test is gonna make me stressed because I already have test anxiety. I really do. I literally have test anxiety, which is why when I was in college, I would be able to take my test in a different area. Plus, I got more time. That's at the point. But because I have testing anxiety, I don't like being around. I can't be around other people when I'm taking tests because it already makes me anxious taking tests in general. I will never forget in college, just one time, one of my classmates was like, "It's no fair that you gotta get to take your test in a different location." And in my opinion, that's what I wanted to say, but I didn't say this. Oh, so you're saying it's no fair that I got this one that you don't got it? That's what I wanted to say, but I did not, because I truly could have said that. It's no, so you're saying it's no fair. I have disabilities that you don't have. Like this is literally why I take the test somewhere else because it's a lot. Um. Oh, cool. You said your awareness of you said your awareness of your disabilities as an adult. So that is true. That's great. That's really good. I'm glad to hear that, Soren. But yeah, I feel like a lot. Like I feel like I accommodate and definitely self advocate for myself a lot more now as an adult than as definitely when I was growing up because I didn't really. I don't think I really understood a lot more. I mean, as much as I do now, and um. I just want others to understand that too. For like, I don't know. I just feel like I wish there was a way I could inspire people that are like feel down and they don't really have the support. I really don't know how to besides doing this because People are in different countries, different states, different, you know, they're not like a walk over, like I can walk over there and talk to them. It's not really the same. Even though I am very shy, which you probably can't tell. I don't know if you can, but hmm, yeah, let's see. Oh, well, I'm glad you got accommodations for that, and I'm yeah, because I had to do in order to get my for college, it's different. You have to go through because in college they don't just automatically give you yeah, I got let's see oh wow. Oh. Well, I think I got either I think it was double time. I think I get when I got for testing. I think it was double time. But I didn't realize a lot of the stuff that I now know. Like like I didn't know that like testing anxiety, phone like anxiety with the phone, which is a whole thing I have. Like I don't like talking on the phone. I will do it, but I don't like it. I like really hate it. Like I remember when I was a kid, when my nana used to call this house, when nana used to call the house, I would run into that direction because I didn't want to talk on the phone. It had nothing to do with her. It had to do with the phone. I didn't want to talk on the phone. I still do the same thing now. I mean, if people call me and I don't want to talk to them, particularly if I don't like talking on the phone, which I don't think everyone knows. I told my aunt, she actually, which is interesting, after all this time, she's now texting me because I told her for years and years and years. And I know my mom has told her. I also have two siblings, if you didn't know. I have two sisters, but they're younger. One's closer to me my age, and one is about 8 years difference. But back to my story. Oh yes. I think my aunt might have taken it personally because I told her I don't like talking on the phone. It had nothing to do with her. I just had phone anxiety. I told her for years, and finally she said, she's going to text me now because I told her texting is the best way to get in touch with me because I really don't like talking on the phone. I really don't. And I didn't realize phone anxiety is an actual thing people experience that are autistic. I just assumed, like I said, it's a Mariah thing because like my siblings and my parents don't deal with that, so I just assumed things are Mariah things if no one else experienced them in the household because like I didn't have a vantage point. And to me, it's harder to, like for me, I think a lot harder, at least. Plus, I also compared myself to my siblings, even though they're not the same. We're not the same, of course. I now know that. As a child, I didn't really think I understood it as much. But see, because like I don't know, I just assume like, and also I get right. Speaking of that, with the you said the ring to like to call it. I turn my phone on silent because sometimes the text message or the alert thing, like when someone's calling me or the hello. But sometimes when someone is calling me or texting me, the notification or whatever, the noise, it will scare me. Because, of course, my senses are heightened, like most autistics, I'm pretty sure. Like, you can hear things that most people cannot hear. Like, I don't know if it's common, but autistics, are they more jumpy or more because of how much, um, like, sensitivity we have to, like, all, like, a lot of different things? Is it because of that we are more, when something scares us, we, like are very supposedly dramatic, even though it's not the right word. You know what I mean? Like we're like more heightened or more alert, and then it scares us more. Like because I often get accused of well, not really accused. My parents often say, "Mariah, you jump a lot. Like people live in this house. Why do you jump a lot?" That's because I'm like. I think because, well, at least for me, I think what happens is because I'm so focused, because I literally will focus, whatever I'm doing, I'll focus so intently, I think I forget there are other people in the house. I literally think that's what it is. Like, particularly, like, for example, if I'm doing something on the computer, just an example, um, what was I gonna say? Yeah, so when I'm doing something on the computer and I'm doing something, and someone comes up behind me, I don't know they're there, even though I can feel them, I get scared. I don't know. Hello, everyone that's new to the stream. But yeah, it's just a lot. Like I feel like when I talk about myself, I feel like I'm a lot. I'm like, how can people deal with this? Like I don't know how people deal with this every day. Like one thing I appreciate about my sibling, my sister who's closer to my age, she's the one that does this. When I told her, whenever I'm overwhelming you or you feel like because I don't have those, social cues to know when to stop, even if I see your face like a certain way, I told her I need you to tell me that, oh, Mariah, I need time to myself, like, I need you to tell me because I'm not aware of, even though most people can read social cues, I cannot. If I can read maybe time, if I can, it's not very much of the social cue that I can read. Um, like, I don't know. I don't know if that's common for you guys, but I know that's for me. That's what I deal with. Um, like like if I'm overwhelming, like sometimes I'll look at the face and I can tell I am, but other times I can't always tell. Like for example, she'll give me this, the look with their eyes. I don't know how to explain it. Like when you're like saying, "Oh, Mariah, I had enough." Even I mean, like if you're saying to someone I've had enough, or it's not a mean look. It's like I'm tired. Like I need you to go away. But I'd rather her just tell me because then I don't just assume. Um, like which I'm curious to know which ones you can tell that I have just by hearing me speak and like looking at me. Could you tell that I had all three of those, or could you tell is more prevalent than the other? Could you tell was it the autism, being autistic, being having this? Actually, definitely you can't really see dyslexia unless you hear me speaking. Or is it the ADHD that you see? I'm curious to see what all of you guys think. Um, hmm. Yeah, I think something else than probably what you guys think. Because for me, when I think of myself, I see a lot more of the autistic traits come out more than I'm not saying the other ones don't, but I see that more than others. I'm curious to see what you think, though. And thanks for all of you guys coming in and joining me, even though I know I'm not the most interesting person. I'm like I said, I'm very awkward. Hmm. Oh, I think that's rude too. Um. Well, I'm glad she doesn't. My sister doesn't say that. She just tells me like, Mariah, I need some time to myself, which I understand because sometimes I can be. I understand that because sometimes, particularly but my sister tells me she can't handle. She always tells me this. She tells me, Mariah, I can only handle a certain point. But she also, I honestly, I think she has ADHD or ADD, one of the two. I don't know. Um, yeah. Oh, really? You can see that, really? Oh. I'm surprised people can see it because I've been told, at least based on people in the past, I've been told that they literally would never guess I was. But I'm just saying, knowing myself, and if I could see myself from someone else, says I could definitely see I have something. Like I can see. I'm sorry, I don't know what they're talking about. They said I don't know. I didn't know you have a disability. Literally, that's the first thing they said. I don't know you have a disability. Like I'm serious. Even my parents probably could tell before they even knew about my disability. They probably could tell something was up. They maybe not known what, but I think that's interesting that you could see that. Because I've never actually got someone saying both of those two things. Hmm. I think thank you for talking. I mean, chatting so much, even though you're not actually physically talking. I think it's really cool to read what you guys are saying. And everyone, I hope that you guys feel like this is a safe space where you can say things like because I want everyone with disability. I mean, and also if there's something on the channel that you want to see that I haven't done, let me know, please, because I'm only a human and I may not get everything. I mean, like if you want to see like, because at one point I was writing poems, which is interesting because I'm not good at writing, but actually people can actually relate to them, so it's kind of interesting. Oh, they're like, oh, I'm really weird about this. Like, so the dishes is a thing for me. I hate. It's not that I hate. No, I don't hate doing them. It's not that problem. I have to have a particular order, which I thought I had ODD. I mean OCD, but it's not that. I have to have it in a particular order, so it has to be. It's literally like this. I tell my therapist. She be probably thinking I'm insane, but it's true. I have to have the red plates together, the small red plates have to go together, the small black plates on top of red plates, black plates under that. The big. I know I have to reorganize the whole. I can't do my like dishes, wash dishes at all until everything is organized in the way I need to organize so I can wash them. My family, my parents probably hate me for that. They're like, Mariah, well, they don't understand because they don't be putting it in order, so I get really aggravated. And I'm like, why? You know I have to have it in this order or I can't do it. And my therapist was like, you can't. Well, it's true. I can't make them do it that way. But it's just because it irks me when it's just like everywhere. Like I need dishes in a particular order. Like the cups, it's the plates first. Then I wash the bowls. Then I wash the cups. That it literally has to be in that order. That weird. Is it weird or is that like? Do you have anything like? Does any of your disabilities make you have to do a certain thing a certain way and you can't do it any other way? I'm curious. Or is it just me? I really want to know. Oh, you can do your dishes out of order? Really? I can't. I can only do them out of order when I'm extremely tired. If I'm, if I, no, though, oh my goodness, that's, oh, wow, that's a big difference. For me, I had this old argument with my sister, well, someone in my family one day, because I was like, why do you, I like, because I tell them, I said, why do you do this to me every time? You know I have to wash this. You don't put it in the order I asked you, so you make me mad. So I have to go down there and fix the order, and then I have to wash it. And I don't care what's wrong with you, Mariah, because like I don't think I have OCD though, based on what my therapist said. I think it's just autistic traits. I think I'm just very particular in that order. I don't know. I hope I don't have OCD because that's too many things to have in one person. I'm just saying because I'm autistic. I have ADHD, dyslexic, and OCD. Come on, that's like a smorgasbord of things. But what was I gonna say? Oh, I don't know, but like it's just interesting. Like it's funny because I wasn't. It didn't used to be like this, but I feel like as I started washing the dishes, like as we like stopped using, we didn't use a dishwasher, like because we don't use a dishwasher. When I saw there was so many dishes, I have to have an order. It can't just be any. I can't just wash it any way. Like my sister and my two sisters do it differently. They can do it anyway. I no. Like I get aggravated when I have to unpack the dish. I know it's weird. When I have to unpack that little dish thing, I get aggravated because it's not in the order I need it to be in. So then I'm like, how am I supposed to put this away because it's not in the way I need it? So then I have to go figure out was it done like this? And literally, I'd be doing that in my mind. I know it's insane, but that's just how I am. Oh, Mariah, aren't you funny? But I'm just surprised some of you guys put up with me because I know I can be. I know I can be. I don't know. I can be a lot. People be saying, "No, Mariah, you're not that much. You're not." Like sometimes I often feel like I'm a bother to people. Like even though people don't say that, I just feel that way because I also think possibly maybe because of my past, because I've been ignored before, not by family members, but by like friends and stuff. So when I feel like I am being ignored, it's a whole thing. Or like if I'm talking too much and I feel like I'm like the person is literally ignoring me, I get really aggravated because I'm like, and then I apologize. I'm like, I'm sorry if I'm like bothering you, like. It's the whole, I don't know. And I also think maybe it's because of my emotions are literally, I tell my therapist, they're like 100 plus. Like my emotions are like off the chart when it comes to my anger, my sadness, and like all the other emotions when I'm happy. They're like my mom will sometimes say when I get very excited about something that most people get excited about. She was like, Mariah, you're being really animated or being very, like, because it's not that she's trying to insult me. It's not that, because my mom doesn't ever try to insult me. She's very protective of me. Both my parents are. It's because she's not understanding why I'm getting so excited about something. So for her, if I like something, you'll see it. It's almost like I don't even explain it. Oh yes, I do. It's almost like when a child, you know how children get really happy about certain things they like get. I get like that, but I'm an adult, and I don't mean to get like that, but I do. Same with like my anger is like when I get angry, my therapist will say this to me. She'll say, Mariah, because sometimes I will do this. I literally, I've noticed it too. I'll go from childlike Mariah because it's a certain thing. I don't know why I do it. Childlike, then teenager, then adult Mariah, she said. And I noticed it too, but I only noticed it now. I didn't notice it back when I was like, growing up. That I'll have certain, like, it's almost like my brain, I don't know if it shifts or I don't know what the heck it does. And I don't intentionally do it. It just like automatically just happens. It's like trauma, in my background stuff from like bullying and other stuff, like not always feeling like good enough and all that stuff. Like if that triggers it or like because she was telling me like when I was talking about my coworker, she was like she hears adult Mariah because I was not really like being difference in my voice when I'm in certain like whiny kind of behavior. I don't know if that's common with autistics or if that's common with someone else or like I don't know. I don't know because I don't know many people like me and I'm not saying there are none. I just have not actually physically met them. Um oh really? There's a lot too much. I often say that. I like literally tell people um that's how I feel. I feel like I'm doing a lot, even though people are like Mariah are fine. But to me, I feel like because my behaviors are so out there, um, that like people are not gonna understand. It's not that I'm trying to be this way. Like even like people, typically, I'm not saying it's always neurotypical people that say this to me, but it's noticed it's more neurotypical that people that don't understand. Like some of them think that that I've encountered. Some of them think that it's. I think that they think I'm doing a lot, but I'm not. And I don't try to do it. But other people, I think maybe they get annoyed and don't tell me, which is kind of not my fault then. And I've had people, friends. He told me. I don't know if I told any of you guys. Actually, no, I haven't told you guys. It's on any kind of YouTube video. He said I was doing a lot. Because I was asking. Well, he didn't really say I'm doing a lot. He just said I was asking too many questions. So, and for me, I have to ask questions because I need clear, concise answers. I mean, clear, concise data based on what I'm asking because if I need to know something, I need to know it. I can't help it. Like, my parents, like, particularly my mom, taught me, like, when you need to want to know something, you ask questions. Like, if I want to know something, I'm going to ask. And I know when I've asked questions before in the past, he's like, where that, because sometimes I just ask random questions that come to my mind, and I think sometimes he thinks I have an ulterior motive behind my questions, which I don't, I just ask them, like, for example, just, let's give you an example, like, if I wanted to know, like, what someone's favorite color was, I'd ask them that, why are you asking me this? Like, so then, and then it made me, then I would shrink back and say, okay, I'm gonna stop asking questions because if I'm asking a question and you feel like I'm like attacking you, then I'm gonna stop asking questions because I'm like, you're basically saying. I literally told him I said basically when you tell me and that's the one thing if I can't be myself then if I don't feel like I can be myself with you I can't. My whole life in my body in myself because of what people have done to me I felt like I couldn't be myself. So And now I know I can be myself based on everything I've gone through. I know I can be myself and it's okay. And people will accept me if they want to, and people will not accept me. And that's their part. That's their choice. I really can't help them. I just really think it's really. I really like reading your responses. I can't say your name, and I feel so terrible. Can I call you Sin? Because I don't know how to say your name. I feel bad. But I really like reading yours and someone's responses and everyone else's that wrote in here. I like reading your responses because I feel like I totally can relate to them. Like, like any of you, I'm curious to know if anyone in the chat, did you all have a formal diagnosis, or is it some of them self-diagnosed? Wait, you want me to say? Oh, so your name is. Wait, so I could say Sai. Oh, people call you Sai. Oh, okay. I feel better. I really feel bad for saying your name wrong because I know I'm saying it wrong. Wait, your name is your name. You said you're Norwegian. Oh, that's cool. I literally feel so bad calling you the wrong name. I'm so sorry. I really feel terrible because the reason um the reason I hate calling people the wrong name because I've been called the wrong name before, so I don't want to call anyone the wrong name. Oh, so I can say Psy. I can say Psy, so that works. Okay, so you got officially diagnosed with being autistic, and you're trying to find out if you. So you're gonna self-diagnose for ADHD until you find out. You might be able to. I don't know what they have in. If you're still in, are you still in Europe, or I'm trying to be. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just asking because I don't know what the reason I ask is because what was I gonna say? Oh yes, I don't know if the same things of the if it's easier to get a diagnosis over there than over in the U.S. or a different country. I don't know if it's the same. If it's the same, you know, like because back in the early '90s, because I was born in '92. Back in the '90s, at least in the U.S., my mom was telling me that back in the '90s, they didn't really know what to look probably being autistic, or even having ADHD because I didn't have the common traits you look for. I mean, I knew I was dyslexic, but I found out my mom told me actually more recently that what was I gonna say 6th grade because I had this tutor her name was Amy. I have no idea what happened to her, but I liked her. There are certain people I like, and then my normally people I like I like this doctor I used to have when I was when I was a kid, which I could have kept her for my whole life. Same with the dentist. I love her. This dentist I loved her. Dr. Savabi. I like certain people, and I don't like changing. So when I had to change, I got upset. When I have to change any kind of thing, I get upset. Like when my fourth grade parents, honestly, I would never say. Plus, my support system, my parents and everyone. Um, I wouldn't be who I am, honestly. But back to us saying, oh yes, I was saying about about diagnosis and stuff. Like it may not be easy to get. Oh, near Norway. Okay, so you said, oh, so you're doing a self-diagnosis, and there might be some tests online you can do. For I was gonna say that because I'm not definitely not white. I'm not trying to be rude, and I don't do a lot of what boys do because one thing I've noticed is a lot more um people who are diagnosed are boys. Like girls are on. I don't know if you know this, but girls are not diagnosed um with ADHD and being being autistic. We're underdiagnosed. Plus, I'm black, so it doesn't help. I probably thought. I wonder if some of the things they thought were just maybe my developmental delays because I'm just because I was so premature. It could have been that because maybe they because I don't know. Honestly, I don't. Also, I don't have the traits probably that you're looking for when you're looking to diagnose someone that's autistic and have ADHD because of well, because my therapist, well, we don't, it's not called this anymore. Asperger's. I know people hate that term. I'm so sorry for everyone that hates that term. I know it's now under being autistic, and I know why people hate that term. I get it. But that's what my therapist said she thought I had, which I believe her because she said she don't think I have all. She said she didn't think, but I think I just think some of the traits weren't presentable because I didn't really. Actually, they might have been presentable. I just didn't know. Yeah. Um. Oh yes. I don't like odd numbers. It's weird. I know. People be thinking my birthday is literally almost odd. The whole thing. Literally, just one number is not odd, which makes the when I add it all together, it makes it even. Because if the last number was odd, it'd be ill. The whole thing ill. I really don't like odd numbers. It's so weird. I know. People are probably like, "What, Mariah?" I really don't like the month is odd, the day is odd, and the year is almost odd. I don't know. Like I'm 31. That's an odd number. I don't like that at all. Like I can't wait to be 32. I need to be like even again. I'm serious. And I don't know if it's because I almost wonder if I don't like odd because whatever it's when it's odd it means one thing doesn't have its pair. I'm thinking that's literally what I think for real, literally. Because when anything is odd, that means something doesn't have its pair. You know what I'm saying? It's like not symmetrical. I know it's weird. People probably think, "What the heck is wrong with you, Mariah?" But it's true. I tell my sister, like my parents and my siblings, I don't like odd, but she's like, and they're probably like, "Why?" Because I don't like that. Um, Wait, did you get I'm curious to know, did you get diagnosed, Psy? Did you get diagnosed as a child or did you get diagnosed like as a teenager or an adult? Because I know, um, that, what am I trying to say? That it's harder to get diagnosed as an, I feel like I'm not sure when it's easiest to get diagnosed, but, I know I've seen on, at least online, that at least seems like a lot more people are getting diagnosed as, oh wow. Oh wow, so you got diagnosed not that long ago, probably. Wait, I'm assuming not that long ago. Sorry for making an assumption. Um, oh wow. Yeah, because I thought maybe in the last few years I had thought maybe being autistic. I thought that, but I wasn't certain. But then when I hear people's stories, I definitely relate to them. So I'm like, yeah. And then my therapist was like, Mariah, you should get the test, and like, which I tried to do, and the whole thing didn't work out because I really wish COVID didn't happen because I swear I feel like I would have gotten the test. Wait, are you Soren? Are you really my age? Sorry, my bad. Um, sorry. Well, that's a wow. Oh, wow. That's a lot to get diagnosed with, Soren. Oh, wow. You guys are like kind of around my age because I'm in my 30s. So, oh, you're older than me. I'm so weird. Sorry, my bad. Because I feel good when I have people like around my age. Because then I feel like oh we can. Sorry, you saw me get happy. My bad. But I think it's interesting to like back when was it? Do you feel like it was do you feel like if you had gotten diagnosed earlier, both of you, Soren and Sai, do you feel like if you got diagnosed earlier, do you think that it might have been more beneficial? Because I feel like that. Oh, you're on good medication? Wait, sorry, I missed that. My bad. But I don't know. I hope that I make someone smile by what I do because, like, literally, I do this because I want to help. Even if I don't help a whole lot of people, at least if I help somebody, I feel good because I'm like being helpful to somebody. Well, oh yeah, so you feel like that too? Like I feel like for my mom, I know she had thought when I'm sorry, guys. I think it dropped my. I don't know why the signal dropped. I'm not sure, but I was saying that oh yes, I was saying that when my in for what was I saying? Oh yes, I was saying that I wish my mom had. I wish someone had told my mom that maybe I don't know if they didn't. Maybe they didn't spot it. I don't really know because maybe because I didn't. Heck, what was I trying to say? Oh yes, because maybe because I didn't actually present the same way. Like I said, I don't present like. Of course, I'm not a male. I don't present the way you're looking for a male traits in a male. You're not gonna see in a female because of maybe I don't know if it's I don't know. So our DNA is different. So maybe the traits that they said. Oh yes, that's what I'm saying. Okay, let me finish that statement because I sometimes tend to say a statement and don't finish it. I'm sorry. Oh yes, I think maybe that they didn't notice the traits because like I look at literally you people say like they look at me like oh what disability are you talking about? I mean I can understand that, but you can't because it's not an actual physical disability. But oh yes. Oh, so like I said, I had to take I got to take I had to take testing. I had to do I don't know how many hours of testing. It was over a period of days, but to get my accommodation in college, I had to take testing, and they said there was I think they said it was a learning disability, which it would make sense because I'm dyslexic. That's a learning disability, and then it's a cognitive disability, but it wasn't ADHD. But I don't know if back then I don't really feel like I displayed very I didn't really display as much ADHD. I could see autistic traits now that I think about it, but ADHD not really. Um, like even taking the test, I will say what made me wanted to take the test. One made me wanted to take a try to get a official diagnosis when I was taking test online. About like those screeners for like being autistic. And it was saying that I scored really high on the like one of the autistic screener things. I was like, okay, which makes perfect sense because like um I don't know, it just makes sense. Like I just assume like the not socializing, not being able to be like I literally am off. My mom will tell me like it's true because I can't see myself in public. So I will like walk. I don't like. It's like I really want to be invisible, but I can't be. So I won't look. Like I'll try to like when I'm walking past somebody, I'll look down so I don't have to engage. I didn't know that. I thought she assumed that was a Mariah thing because I don't know anyone else that does it. But yeah. Oh, and then there's certain this it's just I don't really feel comfortable in public. I don't like being around people. I don't. I've never have. I really feel uncomfortable. Like but it's probably why I don't that's probably the same reason why I don't like social settings because I don't understand how to engage with people. I don't understand how I know how to speak. It's not the problem. The problem is I don't feel comfortable speaking, so I don't. If I feel comfortable with somebody, I won't. Oh. I just I don't know how to explain it. I feel weird. I feel like I'm glad you guys can relate though because like um I don't know. I just feel like I just glad I can. I just wish I had people in person I could relate to too. Like I love that I have the online I'm glad that I have online people, but I want in person too because I feel like no I wouldn't pick you would pick invisibility? I don't know. I don't be invisible. I want to know. Actually, if there was a superpower, I'd pick to be seen how I fully am. That should be a superpower. To be seen as I fully am. I want that to be one. And not and with no judgment though. Oh, like I didn't. The reason I didn't think I was autistic, I've noticed it's weird. I feel like as I realized that I actually am autistic, I've noticed I'm picking up on things that I didn't. So, uh, wait, wait. You said you like the one I said that I made up. Sorry, I made that up though. It's not an actual super. It's not an actual superpower, but what was I gonna say? Oh yes.
I was saying that dang, what was I saying? Oh yes, I feel like as I figured out that I am autistic and ADHD and all the the other stuff, I already knew it was like that wasn't a problem. I've noticed that I'm more heightened to things that I didn't realize, like when a child screams at like what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, screams at a certain I can't. Like my ear, like is like I can't. Like I literally will cover my ear. Like it's like it's like how when kids like go to their like I don't even explain it. It's like a really really high pitch scream. My ears can't take that sound. And then it's no, and then it's amplified because it's multiple kids doing it. And I'm like, oh my god. Like one of my coworkers like, you need headphones. And I'm like, no. Well, also it's not regular. It's not like headphones you would use to block out the noise, like autistic headphones. They're like headphones, like regular headphones. I would not block the noise out. Certain things I didn't know. Like I've always been heightened to smell. I just assumed that was Mariah thing. I just assumed I had a nose of a dog or something. What? Because I didn't know. I didn't know because my mom said I've always been like that with the being able to smell things very well, hear pretty well. Like I have a really good memory. I really good memory before I was burnt out. I didn't know that was common. I just assumed that was a Mariah thing. I've assumed a lot of things were Mariah things because I never had anything to compare it to. I wish I had more people that live close to me because I feel like if I talked to them, they'd be like, okay, Mariah, yeah, I deal with that. Like, I feel like I need, like, sometimes I need a sounding board because I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like that I don't know. I just want to, like, be with, like, a friend or person or whoever, even if they're not my friend, somebody that can understand what I'm going through and, like, don't be, like, I'm not saying that well, some people judge you, but, I don't know. I just feel like it's like it's sometimes I just feel like the world is a judgmental place anyways, but then when you have disabilities it's like an extra layer we got to be judged on, Cuz we don't fit the the supposed mold, which don't make any sense cuz there's no such thing as a mold for society because everyone is different. Even if you don't have a disability, you're still different, aren't you? Um but I don't know. Am I talking too much? I feel like I'm like I don't know if I'm always making sense. Am I making sense? Oh, good. I'm glad I'm making sense. But like I just want everyone who watches the videos I do, to just feel inspired, like they can like keep going and like that even if something is hard, that it don't matter if the other people like what other people think about it as long as you try. Like I think that's honestly what I hope happens when even watching the videos like that I do research into and like the videos I like, which actually takes me a good amount of time to do research because I work on top of doing this because yeah, which is why I had to cut it back because I used to do videos every week and then I had to cut it back to two times a month because I'm already burnt out, but I was extremely more burnt out when I was doing it every week because I didn't have enough time to get all the information I needed or like because I like planning things out in advance, so I don't like rushing to do things. It like actually makes me more overwhelmed and anxious. So I know I agree with you about the autistic people I met online because like they've been the kindest people. Like they've been very supportive. Like when people are like kind of trying to go down, trying to get on you about rude things, even though they um uh, like the things like maybe you can't help. I just appreciate the disability community because like I feel like I wish I could meet some of them in real life. Like I would love to meet Soren and like Quinn and like some other people on my Twitter that I want to meet, like, because they seem really chill and cool, like. And there's people on Facebook I kind of want to meet some of them too. I just feel like they're really chill, and I like people that are chill and not be giving me all this drama and crap that I don't feel like needing because let's be honest, life is already stressful enough. So come on. Especially with what we already have to deal with because people in society already hate us. Well, which I feel I should. I know. I mean this. Don't mean to stay be rude, but it's true. Some of them hate us because we're different. Which let's be honest, aren't you different though? You don't like us, so why hate someone? One thing I don't understand is why hate someone from the differences. Like I always, one thing I hate is seeing people like I've literally seen posts online people hating people because because they speak out about being autistic and other different disabilities. I'm like, well, because they speak out on this, you don't like them. Like, what's the point of not liking them just because they speak out on that? Don't you speak out on things you don't that you think need attention? In my opinion, everyone has a right to speak up for what they are going through, and like they're allowed to speak out and say what they need to say because they have a voice just like you do. It's called freedom of speech, isn't it? Um, I don't know. I just feel like sometimes like I feel like some and also sometimes I feel like some of the members in our community are very disrespectful to their own. Like I'm like, what aren't we supposed to be supporting? We already have an added thing that we have to go through, like the having the disabilities, and then you got people in the community attacking you for that. Like, can you go like just go somewhere if you don't got nothing nice to say? Just go somewhere. Like I don't know. Like I try not to knock anyone's experience because I'm not going through their same experience. I have my own. And I mean, you guys have your own. We may have the same disability, but we don't. It's not affect us. It may not affect us the same exact way. And I'm not gonna act like I knock. I'm not gonna knock your guys' experience of because I experience it differently. Like sometimes I know Soren probably has seen it on my Twitter. I don't know if you're on my Twitter side, so that's why I didn't say that. Sometimes I will vent. I know people probably hate that sometimes, but whatever. I have to vent because sometimes I just keep things in. The thing for me, I know is not healthy, is to keep it in because if I keep it in, it becomes explosive and it can become very toxic. So I don't try to keep it in. And for me, the best way to get myself out is on like social media stuff, because I can't always even when I speak it out, it's not always it doesn't always help just speaking it out. Even journaling doesn't always help. So I am gonna have to write it out, like actually, and push it out there. Because sometimes people can relate. So then it's not just me saying things. Sometimes people have other strategies on how to deal with things. Like you don't know, you never know. Honestly, I'm surprised you guys stayed on here for almost 2 hours. Um, I didn't expect anyone to actually come. And I remember when I first started, like almost a little over 4 years ago, and I didn't like have anybody like that. Like actually, I don't even know how this channel got to the over 300. I didn't expect it to ever get over 100, honest. But honestly, honestly, when I first started, my dad is the one person that was like, Mariah, don't give up, don't, because I kept getting this. I used to get discouraged a whole lot more than I do now. And it's like, because I used to feel like I wasn't helping and like I wasn't helping anybody, and it wasn't like what I said wasn't really doing anything. And my dad was like, Mariah, don't give up because you never know. You don't know who you're impacting when you do these videos. And I'm like, no, I literally always told him, I said, thank you, Dad. Like, because of that is what honestly being encouraged for me, um, what am I gonna say? Being encouraged for me means a lot because I get discouraged a lot, and I wear my heart on my sleeve, and this is my passion. So when it's being attacked, and even if in real life or online when it's being attacked, I have a problem. That's why I take it personally. When my coworker was saying the stuff she was saying about like the little girl and how I'm not helping, it made me feel like I was personally being attacked, even though I wasn't actually physically being attacked. It felt like she was hitting like the core of my being because that's how I feel. Because literally helping the disability community is literally my heart. So when it almost like she was destroying my heart when she was saying what she was saying. And I know some people are like, Mariah, you shouldn't take it that seriously. You don't take this job as serious. That's how I take the job. It's literally how I take it because that's what I was made to do. And I know people are like, what? That don't make any sense. But I literally, when someone is destroying, like, literally, that's my special interest plus my passion. So you're destroying both of them at the same time. It's like intense. Like, I don't know. I know you're like, what, bruh? Like, I'm pretty sure most people, like most autistic, if you're attacking something that is really personal to them, that's actually one of their special interests plus their passion, they'd be upset too. Um, but I don't know. I just love all of you guys. I may not know every one of you, but I love you guys though. You make me smile. Like, I'm glad I can smile because at one point I didn't smile, honestly. Hmm. Well, I can't stop taking it seriously because these kids, we impact their lives, and that's why I can't. Um, I don't know. But I just appreciate all of you. Um, I think I'm gonna go soon because I don't want to hold up you guys' day. Okay. I really appreciate. Aw. I'm glad that you're happy that you got to see me live. I mean, I don't do many lives, honestly. This is only my second one. Um, I do a lot more videos. I don't really do live because I get really nervous. You probably can't tell I'm nervous, but I actually am really extremely nervous. I don't know, just because I don't like even my in my videos that what was I saying? Oh yes, even in my videos I get nervous. I have really bad anxiety by being on camera because reading out loud actually is a trigger for me. It's an emotional trigger because of my past. What I was gonna say? Oh yes, because when I was young, my grandmother did this thing. I don't know if most of you know, or some of you may know. I don't know if it's based on how she was raised because she's not from this country. I'm glad you ate food, guys. But when I was little, yeah, when I was young, about maybe about 8, before I realized that was different. We were reading the Bible and like and that nothing against the Bible or anything or anyone that's a Christian, but some of those words in that Bible are hard. So my pronunciation is already a problem. So um, when reading the Bible, my grandmother laughed at me, and it really impacted me. So when reading out loud in general is hard, and plus amplifying it with the camera, it makes pronunciation issues probably even more a struggle because of that incident. Is why I put in my video notes about having pronunciation problems because when this one lady besides my grandmother done that to me on a video comment was saying about my pronunciation is wrong and whatever, it almost like it reopened that wound because it's a trigger. And like it's not like I purposely try to make pronunciation mistakes. It's just because I already have I'm dyslexic, and pronunciation is part of that. Reading comprehension, and reading fluently, and all that stuff. Is be able to pronounce like the word is part of this being dyslexic. I try to make sure I head off any kind of things I'm gonna get to before it happens. Because I don't like being judged based on. I'm not saying that everyone's gonna judge me, but I don't like being judged based on something I can't pronounce when I'm trying my hardest. Like so, literally, that's why I put that thing about no matter how hard pronouncing some words would be, I would try my best. Well, I'm glad you think my pronunciation's fine, but I know I struggle with it. I can't pronounce some of these medical terms. I know in those videos I be not under because I don't pronounce everything right. And you don't need to apologize, Soren. You've never done that. And my grandmother, God rest her soul. I know, you're not gonna cry. Nope, we're not gonna cry. You're fine. Okay, back to us saying. For her, I don't know if based on how she was raised, she may have not known better. But my mom is very protective when I told her about it after it happened a long time ago. Um, she was a really good mom and said something to her mother, who was passed on. Um, what did I say? Yes, and for I just it just made a scar, but um, I just try my best every time. So I don't want no teachers. One thing I'll say, no teachers made me feel wrong about that. It was just I don't know. And I didn't know it was different before. Honestly, before that incident happened, I didn't realize it was different. That actually changed the way I looked at myself. That one instance, I didn't know. I literally don't think I knew I had a disability before that. And I remember because I literally I don't. I tell people this, they don't believe me though. I told them, I said before I was that incidents happened, I don't remember being because my parents never treated me different. So when I found out that I was different because that one little tiny incident, it just like changed my whole view of myself. Because I was a happy, actually really happy child, and it changed. Literally, it caused me to be have anger, a whole lot of anger that I have, a lot of different things. I had a oh yes, as a child, literally my one teacher impacted my life to a point where I told her thank you so much for treating me as a human being. Didn't treat me as a person that like couldn't comprehend. She didn't treat me. She treated me like a normal child. Not that I didn't have any differences. That's literally why I loved her. I still love her to this day. Her name is Miss Wedner. And Miss Wedner, if you're watching, I love you so much. But I just don't. One thing I would tell people that anyone that have ever gone through like being traumatized or made felt bad, well, was made to feel bad because they were different. I need you to know that as long as you try your best, as long as you try your best at whatever you do, whatever challenges you have, that's all that matters. I need you also to know that what makes you different doesn't mean that's gonna be like what makes you different. I'm trying to think. Sorry. What makes you different doesn't have to change your whole entire life because that's what I let happen to me. Like I shouldn't have let that happen. Not that I knew any better. I was a child, but what also it did change my life in a good way though. Even though that trauma did happen, it changed my life to know that I'm not gonna let someone else do that. Grow through that. That's one good thing that happened there. But I don't know. I just that is a good thing. But yeah. I just because I don't think I just yeah, it's like not my that's right, not my their best, not my best. It has to be personal to them. What their best is not going to be my best and my best is not going to be their best. There. Hopefully that made sense. But um yeah. Okay. I love you guys. I hope everyone enjoyed the stream. If not, I'm sorry. I tried. Um I'll see ya, okay? Oh, I'm glad you thought it was fun. That makes me smile. Well, I hope eventually in the future I'll do more streams, even though streams are scary for me. Literally. Well, you're welcome, guys, and I'm glad you liked it.